Hello Year 1, this is Wednesday of Week 2's English Lesson 8. Let's have a look at today's learning intention. We will understand what a pronoun is and be able to find pronouns in texts. You should have already listened to the story Rose Meets Mr. Wintergarten. If you haven't, please pause this video and listen to the story first. We know that some words represent people, places, and things. Do you remember the real term for this word? Yes, it's a noun. An example of words that represent people are names such as Mr. Wintergarten. An example of a word that represents a place is the name of a town, such as Mackay. And an example of a word that represents an object or thing is table. Let's look at some sentences about Mr. Wintergarten and the story. Can you read these sentences? Great. Mr. Wintergarten is grumpy. Mr. Wintergarten is an old man. Rose gave Mr. Wintergarten some fairy cakes. He snorted. We are going to identify the words that represent people in these sentences. What word or words in the first sentence represent a person? Mr. Wintergarten is grumpy. That's right. The noun is Mr. Wintergarten. That should make the second sentence easy. It uses the words Mr. Wintergarten again. What about the next sentence? Rose gave Mr. Wintergarten some fairy cakes. What words represent people in this sentence? Rose is one of the words that represent the name of a person. There is another name in this sentence. That's right, Mr. Wintergarten represents a person. We have one sentence left. He snorted. What word represents a person in this sentence? The word he represents a person. It's different to the other words we have identified. It's not a name. The word he is being used instead of someone's name. Who do you think the word he is referring to? That's right. The word he has been used instead of Mr. Wintergarten. The word he replaces the word Mr. Wintergarten. The real term for words like he that replaces the name of a person is called pronouns. Let's look at one more sample. Can you read these sentences? Great job. It says, Rose was scared. She trembled. In the first sentence, Rose is the name of a character. The word rose is a noun. In the second sentence, she trembled. What word represents a person in this sentence? That's right, the word she represents a person. The word she is a pronoun. The word she is used to replace the word rose. Imagine if we were writing about Rose and we didn't use pronouns. It might sound something like this. Rose was scared. Rose trembled. Rose knocked on the door. Rose waited. Rose gulped. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Using pronouns can make our writing flow a bit better. Listen to these sentences. Rose was scared. She trembled. Rose knocked on the door. She gulped. Do you think that sounds a bit better? When you're writing your character description, you can use pronouns to represent your character and make your writing flow too. Let's search for some pronouns in Rose Meets Mr. Wintergarten. What pronouns can you spot on this page? I can see the author has used the word he's. Who is he's referring to? That's right, they're talking about Mr. Wintergarten. The word he's is a pronoun. Let's have a look at the first sentence on this page. It says, My dad lost his football over there when he was a boy, said Emily.
Who is the he referring to? That's right, he represents Emily's dad, so the word he is a pronoun. Let's read the first sentence on this page. It says, his dinner was cold, grey and uninviting, with gristle floating in it and mosquitoes breeding on top. Can you spot the pronoun? That's right, the word his is referring to Mr. Wintergarten, so the word his is a pronoun. You now need to access the planning sheet for Mr. Wintergarten. It looks like this. It's been filled out to help write a description of Mr. Wintergarten at the end of the story.
Ask your student to read the ideas on the planning sheet or read them to your student. Ask students to add in any extra words from the picture book that tell the reader what Mr. Wintergarten looks like and acted like, and what his character traits were at the end of the story. Once you have completed this activity, make sure you keep it safe because you will need it for tomorrow's lesson. Well, one more thing. Have you been playing my Spot the Difference game? What can you see that's different today? That's right, I've got some sea-themed Lego today. I've got a shark, a crab, and a little bit of a theme. Thanks for playing. Enjoy the rest of your lessons. Bye.